Okay, so we're working on some more rational equations and solving. So there are a couple of parts here to what it's asking us to do. So it says for each equation we should use what we know about division to identify any values of x that cannot be solutions. So there's part one. And it goes on to remind us that these would be called excluded values. And there's some directions there about how to enter it in the table if we have multiple excluded values. And then the second thing it asks us to do is to solve. So pick three of them to solve. So let's just start with equation A. So I first need to identify any values of x that cannot be solutions. So I'm looking for any values of x that will never work in this equation. Because we're talking about rational equations, remember we're focusing in on the denominator. So we know that dividing by 0 is not possible. We can't have a denominator of 0. So what we're going to do is identify a value of x that would cause this denominator to be 0, because we'll need to exclude that. That will be a value that x can never take on. So x minus 2 cannot equal 0, which would tell me then if I solve that, x cannot be 2. So we're going to exclude that. X cannot be 2. That cannot be a solution to our equation. From there then, we're going to go ahead and work to solve this. So since I see that I have a rational equation, I see that there's x's showing up down here in this denominator. My goal is going to be to try to eliminate those fractions, so to get rid of that rational part of the equation. So since we're dividing by x minus 2, the inverse operation then would be to multiply by x minus 2. Since I have more than one term, I'm going to be careful there with parentheses. And anything I do to the left side, I also have to do to the right side of my equation. So we've talked about the fact that dividing by x minus 2 and multiplying by x minus 2 are inverses. Since x minus 2 divided by x minus 2 is just 1, multiplying by 1 would not change this value. So I'm left with x squared plus x minus 6 on the left side. And then if I go ahead and distribute here, that leaves me with 5x minus 10. If it's helpful to you to think of this like these being eliminated or these canceling each other out, you're welcome to do that. Just be a little bit careful that you make sure you understand what we mean when we sometimes say they cancel each other out. Now I'm left with a quadratic equation. This is something that we've worked to solve many times before. So the first thing I'm going to attempt to do is make my equation equal 0. So I would prefer to leave this x squared here. So I'm going to move these x's to the other side. I'm also going to add 10 to make this become 0. So 5x minus 5x is 0, negative 10 plus 10 is 0. There was my goal. So I now have x squared minus 4x plus 4. So we've talked about several ways to solve. Completing a square, we'll come back to that later. Factoring, using the quadratic formula. So I could use either of those methods to solve from here. So if I wanted to solve this by factoring, this is what it would look like in factored form. Set each factor equal to 0. In this case, my factors are the same, so there's really no reason to do it twice. That gives me only one solution for this quadratic, x equals 2. Or I could solve it using the quadratic formula. Notice that I end up here with the square root of 0, which is just 0. There's no positive and negative 0. So whether I say 4 plus 0 or 4 minus 0, it's just 4 over 2. And again, I get a single solution here of x equals 2. I could approach it in either way. There's a problem, though. We said that in this particular equation, x could not be 2. Because if x is 2, if I attempt to plug that in here, I'm going to end up trying to divide by 0, which is not possible. So even though solving this accurately gave me a solution of 2, it's actually not valid. So since we said x cannot be 2, we're going to have to throw out that solution and say that this equation actually has no solution. So this solution that we did find as we solved it algebraically, that x was equal to 2, is what we would call an extraneous solution. Notice that word extra in there. So it's sort of an extra solution that comes out, not because we've done something invalid. Everything we've done is accurate and an okay way to approach solving algebraically. The problem is when we start multiplying on both sides of our equation by a variable, we sometimes introduce solutions that were not solutions to the original equation. So as we're solving these rational equations, we need to check for any values of x that need to be excluded. and then compare that to any solutions we find to be sure that we haven't found any extraneous solutions. So when I come back to my Desmos activity here, I'm going to say I'm going to exclude the x value of 2. And then since I didn't have any valid solutions, the only solution I found was extraneous, there is no solution. Notice here it says to write the word none. So we're going to be really careful about following these directions because we have this try it button below. We want to make sure we're entering things the way it's expecting to see it so that it can tell us if we are in fact right. Let's try one more together. Let's look at B. Okay, so in B we have a rational equation. This time though we've got two fractions, two ratios, two rational pieces to this equation. And in both of them the denominators are different. And so to eliminate those denominators, we're going to need to multiply by them. So I'll show you two different ways that we could get there. So I have a problem here. I have a rational piece of my equation because I'm dividing by x. And so to eliminate that, the inverse would be to multiply by x. And I need to do that on both sides of my equation. So I now have just 2x on the left side, since multiplying by x and dividing by x were inverses. And 1 times x is x. This is the same as x over 1, so x minus 2 times 1 would keep this denominator of x minus 2. And then again, I want to eliminate the fractions. I need to eliminate this denominator. So I'll multiply by x minus 2, since that's the inverse of dividing by x minus 2. Again, I need to do that on both sides, and be careful here that I'm using some parentheses since I've got multiple terms. Remember, terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs there. So when I simplify on the right side, I'll be left with just x, since multiplying and dividing by x minus 2 are inverses. On this left side, I need to be careful because I'm going to need to work through this distribution here. If I would prefer to use this diagram to help me perform that multiplication rather than just thinking through the distribution, that would be okay too. Either way, I'm going to end up with a simplified expression of 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 is equal to x. And then since this is a quadratic, the best way to solve this is going to be to set it equal to 0. So we'll subtract this x to give us 2x squared minus 4x minus 2 equals 0. And then we said we've got options. We can solve it by factoring. We can solve it by using the quadratic formula. When I think about factoring, the first thing I notice is that all of these share a common factor of 2. So I'm probably going to make my life a little bit simpler. And I'm going to rewrite this as 2 times x squared and 2 times negative 2x and 2 times negative 1. So then I know that 2 will never equal 0. So if I set these factors equal to 0, setting 2 equal to 0, that's not even possible. So that's not going to yield me any solutions. So then I can look at x squared minus 2x minus 1, and what would cause that to equal 0? So I could think about factoring. Are there two numbers that when I multiply, they give me negative 1, and when I add, they give me negative 2? Well, I don't think so. So I don't think we're going to be able to finish factoring this solve. So I'm going to go ahead and use my quadratic formula. So I have an a value of 1, a b value of negative 2, and a c value of negative 1 that I'm plugging into my quadratic formula. When I simplify my signs, simplify what's under the radical, and simplify my denominator, I get to this point. Well, 8 is not a perfect square, so I'm not going to be able to write this exactly unless I leave that radical in my expression. So it didn't say anything about rounding, so we're going to leave our solutions exact. Now, the square root of negative 8, we actually could simplify that. So remember that the square root of negative 8 could also be written as the square root of 4 times 2, since 4 times 2 is 8. So then I could think about that as the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. And since 4 is a perfect square and its square root is 2, we could rewrite that then as 2 radical 2. So 2 radical 2. So the square root of 8 is the same thing as 2 radical 2. So if we rewrote this as 2 plus or minus 2 radical 2 over 2, then we could do something to make this just a little bit simpler, since each of these terms could be divided by 2. So if we distributed that division, so take the 2 and divide it by 2, and then take 2 times radical 2 and divide it by 2, we can see then that 2 divided by 2 gives us 1, plus or minus 2 times radical 2 divided by 2. Multiplying by 2 and dividing by 2 are inverses. 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so I just have 1 radical 2. So these are my 2 exact solutions. I say 2 because it could be adding radical 2 or subtracting radical 2. Now we skipped one thing. We need to check for extraneous solutions. So something I should have done here at the beginning that I didn't was check to see, are there any values of x that we need to exclude? So remember that we're looking at denominators. We know our denominators cannot equal 0. So x cannot be 0. We're going to have to exclude that value. And x minus 2 cannot have a value of 0. So if I solve that, it would say x cannot be 2. So we have to make sure that x is not 0 and x is not 2. Well, in our solutions here, we should be okay, because this doesn't say x is 0 and it does not say x is 2. So let's see if we can enter that then on our Desmos screen. So it gives me some hints that if I have multiple values, I should separate them with commas. So we wanted to exclude both 0 and 2. And we actually have 2 solutions. So I'm not going to use the plus or minus. I'm going to enter them separately. So I'm going to say it's either 1 plus the square root. Give you 2 ways to type that. SQRT automatically turns into that square root or radical sign. So there's one way I could type it. Again, I'm separating my answers with commas, no spaces. So notice here it's just 0, 2, no spaces. So 1 plus radical 2, let me get out of there, comma. And then I want 1 minus radical 2. Another way to get that square root symbol is to open up that keypad and find the square root symbol, and I can type it that way. So remember, we're trying to be careful about how we enter it, follow the directions that it gives us here, so that we can use this try it button and know when our answers are correct. So try at least one more of those on your own, if not several. You're welcome to try as many as you like there. It's going to check all of your work for you and give you a chance to get some good practice in it.